Are women prepared for their financial future? And is the industry helping women prepare for their financial future? And it came back, no and no. And really the theme was my financial professional doesn't even look at me. So I could see there was a huge gap between the whole women's market and financial institutions and this gap in financial literacy for women. And that's what led me to build out purse strings.
Buckle up for a new episode of the S.H.E podcast, the show where we have real and raw conversations to inspire and empower you to be seen and heard so you can create balance and everything you want in your life and business. I'm your host, S.H.E, and I'm excited to walk alongside of you on this journey of being seen, heard, and empowered. Welcome to the S.H.E podcast. Be seen, be heard, be empowered. I'm your host, S.H.E, and today we're talking about money and finances, one of my favorite topics. So we're going to have a lot of fun today with my guest, Dr. Barbara Provost with Purse Strings. So welcome, Dr. Barb, to the show.
Thank you so much, Heidi. I'm glad to be here.
I'm excited to talk with you. I love all things money. I'm a single mom. I know money is important. Setting up ourselves up for financial success is important. I know I've made a lot of blunders along the way, so I'm really excited to dive in. But before we do, Dr. Barb, I'm just going to give everybody a little background about you. So
Sure.
Dr. Barbara Provo is a force in the financial industry. She is the founder of Purse Strings, an educator, entrepreneur, and advocate for women's financial power with over 20 years of experience as an educational consultant in the banking and insurance sectors. She saw firsthand how these male-dominated industries consistently overlooked the financial needs of women. Despite women controlling $24 trillion in wealth, financial services continued to market primarily to men, leaving women underserved and underadvised. Purse Strings is a first of its kind company dedicated to two missions: empowering women with free, high impact financial education so they can take control of their financial futures no matter their starting point. So, Dr. Barb, Purse Strings, I love the name of it.
Thank you.
Can you share with us, is when you decided to move forward in your mission and launch Purse Strings, is this something that you started because you moved through this type of journey yourself and found yourself in a situation you navigated through, or is this just a passion that you've had to serve more women?
It was generated out of an observation I saw while consulting in the financial industry, where I could see where the industry itself was overlooking women through the education that was, I was actually facilitating for financial advisors. I thought, wow, this is very transactional. Women don't really buy this way. And then I look at the marketing materials we were passing out to the advisors, and I'd take a look at the content and the photos they were using, and none of it really reflected anything that women would resonate with them or would speak to them. I could see that most of the financial advisors were white males, and so much of it was just not in alignment with anything I as a woman would relate to. And I could see where they were overlooking a market. And I would do some investigation and do some research on it and bring it up to my leaders, and they would just say, I think we're doing fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. And so I thought, well, maybe it's just my observation. But then I went through a divorce, and it was interesting because I met other women going through divorce. We were kind of in this small group, this kind of therapy group, if you will. And other women would ask me, Barb, gosh, how much should I budget? I'm going to be living on my own now. And should I keep the house? And a lot of financial questions, of course, came through the conversation. And it was interesting how uncertain some women were on how to make those financial decisions. So that was another thought that I kind of stuck in my pocket. And then as I was just running around doing errands with my daughter, I could see women of retirement age doing some kind of menial jobs like bagging groceries and stocking shelves. And I just kept thinking, why are these women doing this work? Like, why aren't they retired? And so all these three different experiences that I was exposed to led me to think, what's going on here? Why are these women uncertain about their finances, still working, The industry is not helping them. So I commissioned a researcher to do a deep dive and answer two questions. Are women prepared for their financial future? And is the industry helping women prepare for their financial future? And it came back no and no. And
Wow.
so I took this data and my daughter and her computer, and we just went and held focus groups to ask women what their experience was working with financial professionals. And really, the theme was my financial professional doesn't even look at me. So I could see there was a huge gap between the whole women's market and financial institutions and this gap in financial literacy for women. And that's what led me to build out purse strings.
I love your mission because, again, as you know, this podcast is all about empowering women to be seen and heard. And I know that many women who are listening can feel unseen and unheard when it comes to their finances and scared. There's a lot of fear around it too,
So much
especially
fear. Mhm.
yeah, not, I mean, just take the current economy or what's happening in the world on a regular basis, no matter what we're facing, take that out of it. There's still
Yeah.
fear. Are we going to be able to set ourselves up for success? The decisions that I make, am I making the right decision? Can I trust the advisor who's giving me this advice? How do I even start to find an advisor or talk to somebody? And how do I know if I could trust them? What are the questions I should be asking? So there's so much there. And so I love what you're doing. Can you share what Purse Strings is and how you are supporting women and with their finances moving forward?
Sure. So when we talk to hundreds of women about the fact that they will be at their own, at some point in their lives, in charge of their own financial future, just like you were when you got divorced and when I got divorced, widowed, the average age of a widow is 59. The population is aging. Gray divorce is happening at three times the rate. That's women in their 50s and 60s. So even though women are in partnership, many are not. And sometimes, first time in their lives, they're in charge of their own financial future. And I was just got off the phone with a financial professional who said to me, boy, my wife said to me, I feel ghosted when it comes to the finances because I don't know who do I call if something were to happen to you. And it shouldn't just be who do I call? What's the phone number? It really needs to be part of the conversation. She should know chapter and verse where everything is, what all the numbers are, where the bank accounts are, have a say in those discussions. So I asked women, what do you need to feel confident, competent to really make good financial decisions for yourself? And they said, boy, we need a one-stop shop, a place we can go to ask our questions, learn what we need to know, be in a community where we can ask questions that we feel fearful, like you said, afraid, that we're, afraid to ask because we're embarrassed. We should know this stuff. But we want to learn. So where we can go and learn. Well, as an adult educator, I got that covered. I can do that, no problem. And then they said, can you also find us financial professionals who are going to treat us with respect, who are going to answer our questions, who are going to help educate us, who are going to kind of be on our financial team, if you will, when we have a question. And so the other part of Purse Strings is we curated a directory of financial professionals who really understand the plight of women, really understand what women are up against financially. They lead with education. They're going to be in the industry for a while, so they're not just here to sell you a product and move on. You never see them again. No, they're going to be part of your financial team. But they're not just financial advisors and planners. We also have attorneys, a mediator, property and casualty agents, anybody that touches a financial transaction, because you're never going to just need that one person. You're going to need lots of different financial professionals. So why not have them all in our directory that women can go through and curate, look at their profiles, and make appointments with them?
Yeah, and I have talked to Barb, Dr. Barb, a lot, and I learned a lot about purse strings, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to have her come on here and share with you about purse strings because I truly believe in it. Because it's not that she doesn't just accept any advisor, any of these financial people or businesses that you're going to need to utilize over the course of your life, but she vets them. She makes sure that they understand women. They're for women. That's one of the things that I really love about what you're doing. It's just many companies will work with anybody just because to get their
Mhm.
revenue in, and you're not doing that. You really are making sure you put them through a process. And if they are not working with women so far to say, and then they want to, though, they want to open this market, you then have an area where she prepares them for that and makes sure and then revets them after that process. So I share that with you all because I want you to know that you can trust purse strings and you're in great hands. And I'm going to be promoting this because I think it's a huge thing that women need. You said that women control $24 trillion of wealth. That number blew my mind. I had no idea. And we all get to be wealthy. We all get to be in a position where we can enjoy retirement. We can go travel. We can go enjoy life with our grown children when they're having children and be those people that get to be with our grandkids versus out there working, trying to scrape money together to make it to the next day or the next week. So tell us a little bit, what was your biggest challenge? Like when you decided to jump into doing this, like you saw a need, which I think is fantastic. You went through a journey yourself personally. So you're combining the two together. What were did you have any fear with taking this leap, or what were some of the challenges you've experienced and how did you overcome them?
Well, I think I had so much passion for it and naive, right? I think as entrepreneurs, we have a little bit of a naivete, like, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Everyone's going to love it, right? It just makes so much sense. And thank God we do, though, right? Because
Yeah,
we wouldn't move ahead if we were in clear thinking all the time.
I agree.
But it just made so much sense. But the problem is, what am I up against, right? A big male-dominated, male model financial institutions that have been in business for many, many, many years. So coming in and saying, hey, you need to start focusing on the women's market is really slow to change. Everyone's kind of like, we're doing fine. Kind of like what leadership said to me in the beginning, we're doing fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. So, but there are cracks because, like you said, $23 trillion is what the value of this market is now, but we are also coming into an additional $30 trillion are coming into the hands of women as the population ages and the baby boomers die. All that money will be coming into the hands of women, and women will hold the purse strings of America. No doubt about it. You can Google it. You can look at any financial Wall Street Journal, anything. There's always articles that say women are going to be holding the purse strings of America because all this money will be coming into their hands. And still, financial institutions are slow to change and really refocus on what women want and need, which is different than how they're currently servicing families and men today.
I love the name that then you just like tied your name together with purse strings, which I love. I think it's just so catchy. So that's fantastic. Can you share some of for the women that are listening and they're like, I don't even know where to begin.
Mhm.
Where should they start?
Yeah, so we're going to start with we have a guide. All of our content is free. So, right on our website, purstrings.co, is a guide, and we can put it in the show notes called Where's My Money Going? And it's very simple. All it does is it looks at what is the income coming into your household on a monthly basis. So, what's your income if you're getting child support, if you're making having a payroll come in, whatever it might be. And then what are your expenses going out? And we've gotten almost every expense you can imagine on that sheet. So you can just go through, look at your credit card, look at your checking account, wherever you make payments, and make a list of what's going out. So what that will tell you right there and then is what's your cash flow in your household. So is there more money coming in than going out? And what's the money going out? Is it going out to places that you still value, that you still are aware of, that you still want it to go out to? So where's your hard-earned money going? And once you complete that and, with really good data, don't just guess because garbage in, garbage out, but with really good solid data from your actual bank accounts, it will give you the solid foundation of where you are today. So that's a good snapshot in time for a month of your cash flow, and it gives you good data to start making good decisions. So I would say that's the best place to start.
So knowing your numbers, you've got to know your numbers, what you focus on gross. So you want to
Right.
focus, but that's why you don't focus on negativity. We focus on positivity, but
Right.
you got to focus on your money. You should be checking your accounts, know what's happening. I checked them, was checking them every day and then I stopped
Yep.
doing it and I noticed everything was going down and I'm like, okay, I got to keep checking them. So what you focus on grows. And like Dr. Barb said, don't guess. Go to the website, grab this free resource and use it because I've done my budget before and I've laid things out and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that bill. And then I forgot
Yeah.
about that. And I remember when I was married we were going through a financial, one of those moments that we all go through the ups and downs. We were on a downturn, and we were going through on how to cut back expenses. And you'd be amazed at what you spend money on. It's so easy to swipe that card, right, Dr. Barb?
Yes,
$300 a month was going to Starbucks. Like, do we really need $300? And this was back when this was, think about what it would cost now.
I
Thinking
know.
my daughter was one. She's 16 now. 15 years ago, just think about what Starbucks compared to what it now would cost us a month. It probably doubled.
Yeah.
But back then, that was a lot of money going to coffee when I could buy
Yeah.
an $8 bag. Well, probably $4 back then. Now $8,
Yeah.
right, for a bag of coffee. So I share that because you'll be when you do this exercise, I'm guarantee you'll be surprised at what you're swiping that card out that you don't even think about. Oh, that's just $2 or that's just $6 or whatever. And then you're adding that up and you can
Yeah.
see where all your money is going. And you have to know where the money is going. So that is step one. You also host something that women can come to. So can you talk about that?
Sure. We have every Thursday from 11 to 11:30 Central. We host Money Talks. It's live and it's one topic, one expert, and we just address one simple like nugget of information that everybody should know. So, for instance, it might be we talked about auto insurance and we always answered that question like people say, whenever I rent a car, do I buy that car insurance or not? Should I be doing that or not? And people can come and ask their questions. Plus, we give an overview of information. So it's always really good life lessons, a little nugget here or there. And then you get to meet the expert and ask any of those kind of questions that you have. It's to the point everybody walks away with, like, huh, I didn't know that. What a great, use of my time. This was fantastic. Thank you for, being here for this 30 minutes. And every week we do it and we have different topics and they're a lot of fun. And you will always walk away with something new that you've learned.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder because I just as you shared that, I was like, every time I go rent a car, I go, am I supposed to or am I not supposed to?
Yeah.
What do they say I'm supposed to do? Like, do I buy the insurance or not buy the insurance? And you forget, like you've heard the answer, and so then I guess I'm like, okay, I don't know that I'm supposed to buy it, so I'm not going to buy it today. And then sometimes I might buy it because I'm like, I think they say to buy it. So I love that you're doing you're doing that because it was some of these things we know, much of it we don't, but some of them we know, but it's just a great reminder too to kind of go, and it also builds up your confidence. I'm sure
Absolutely.
as
Yeah.
you're hearing this over and over and over again, you're going to become more financially confident. And I think that's very important for women moving forward because when you can take these baby steps and you're knowing your numbers and you're getting a little more confident in your decisions and you have a place like Perk Strings to go where these businesses are reputable, they're vetted, and they really have the best interest of you at heart. And you can interview different people in these specific industries or different companies because there's many. They're not just giving you one insurance agent or one accountant or one, attorney. They're giving you multiple. So can you share some of these resources that you have inside the community for women?
Sure. So we have financial professionals of all sorts. So if you're looking for, let's say you're going through a divorce, you need a financial professional, you might also look for one that has a certified divorce financial analyst certification. So that's something that's unique and different that we have. We also have mediators and attorneys if you're going through a divorce. So you can select or meet with a mediator and or meet with an attorney. We also have estate planning attorneys, which I think are so important. We're looking for more estate planning attorneys because you need one per state. Typically, they're licensed per state. And we want to make sure every woman has their estate plan in order. That's so in powers of attorneys for themselves and for their children. If their children are especially off to college, over 18, they're adults. If anything should happen to them, you will not get any healthcare information unless they have a power of attorney signed up. So that's something good to know. We have, like you say, insurance agents. We also have business coaches. So ladies in business, we have business coaches there. We also have bookkeepers and CPAs. So we have business type professionals as well. We just have any type of professional that meets your needs. If you're just a woman on her own, a woman raising a family, or women in business, and or all three.
Yeah. And the best thing about it for you ladies is it's free to be in the community, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You get to choose who to work with. You get to find out more about them, what their rates are, but to be in the community and to learn to have access to all of these financial resources and these company professionals, it's free for you. So it's like a no-brainer Dr. Barb
Right.
makes it super simple. The only thing you got to do is take the action to go check it out, and join the community. And I like that you just shared, what was it you just shared about estate planning and really and getting your power of attorney situated and talking about the adult children, because I heard a tragic story of a woman, and they're down in South Florida and lost their daughter, and they couldn't get any answers because she was
Hmm.
off to college, and they couldn't get any answers from the hospital as they were traveling to come see her.
Hmm.
And that's definitely something that I never even knew.
Hmm.
And I'm sure many of the women listening wouldn't even know. So if you have adult children and they're especially off, like you said, off to school and college, then you need to get that power of attorney in order. Because if decisions need to be made or you want information, they're not going to give it to you.
Right. And
Legally,
these
they
are things
can't.
that, we just typically don't talk about. I mean, that's why at Purse Strings, we keep bringing things like this up, especially as children go off to school. We have a lot of blogs on this. We have a lot of social media around it. We might have a podcast around it just to keep getting the word out that you want to make sure that you're properly equipped and that your children are as well, so that you have all the documents in order along the way. Too often, right? There's too many sad stories where you hear, somebody dies without life insurance, or, stay-at-home moms think, oh, I don't need life insurance. I don't bring any income. Wrong. You need life insurance because to replace what you do is going to cost $200,000 a year. So, there's just lots of reasoning. There's a lot of bad data out there. So come to Purse Strings and let's talk about it for women and what women want and need in their life. Don't let people shun you or tell you you don't need what you don't need. Really talk to the experts so that you are fully covered and you have what you need for yourself for your future as well.
That's a great point. A lot of women do think, oh, my husband's the breadwinner, so I don't need life insurance. But at the end of the day, like you said, it's going to cost a lot of money to keep that house running. And they're all grieving, right? So there's
Yeah.
transition period here. The husband may not work for a while. So that income is going to, and plus you want to set your family up for success. It doesn't matter which
Absolutely.
one, whether you're the husband, spouse, partner, whatever. The homemaker definitely needs insurance. And I remember that was a big thing for me. I got it because I was a homemaker at the time. Now I work, but I got it because I was like, no matter what, I want to have them to have that freedom to have that money there to move through that next phase of whatever they have to move through. So yeah, see, this is so many good points that I'm sure those of you listening, you're like, I know one has hit you. At least
Yeah.
one point has hit you, if not multiple. So
Yeah.
go to Purse Strings, pursestrings.co, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and also, Dr. Barb has a podcast, so you definitely want to go check that out. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, the podcast is Women in Money, the shit we don't talk about. And we named it that because money is such a taboo topic. So many women are afraid to talk about it, or they feel like either culturally or in their family or from their religion or whatever their upbringing is, we don't talk about money, we don't ask about money, and even, before people get married, they've never discussed money, then money becomes the problem. There's so many situations in where you just need to talk about it. It's a tool. Right? It can be very emotional if you, especially more emotional if you don't talk about it. Then it's kind of like that thing under the bed or something, hiding in the
Yeah.
closet. But you really need to talk about money and just get it out on the table and talk about what you feel about money, like what's your upbringing, what's your knee-jerk reaction about money. And it's so interesting as you unpack your own money mindset and kind of your knee-jerk reaction to bills. Like, do you hate having bills? Do you hate having debt? Or is debt comfortable for you? It's not that big a deal. And so you need to really understand where you're at with money, especially if you're in a relationship. How's your partner about money? And really start having those conversations because that's going to make or break you.
Yeah, and one of the number one reasons, top two reasons of a divorce is finances. It could be the number one. I'm not sure where that falls right now in the stats, but I know it's always up there.
Yep.
So you want to have those conversations. If you have children, you want to have those conversations. Set them up for success with money. I know I could be doing a much better job with that. And my daughter just started a job. She's getting, I think we're kind of organizing her bank account so that money can go straight in there, and she's going to learn how to budget and do these things. So we get to sit down with her, but they don't have to start when they're teenagers. This should be a conversation from when they're little, so these
Yes.
kids can grow up with it, with it's normal. There's no taboo
Right.
around it. But at the any stage you're at as a mom, or as a, have the conversation. Don't go, oh, I missed the boat with that. No, you can still have the conversation even if they're older and teenagers. If they're going off to college and they don't know anything about money, it's time to have a sit down. Introduce them to purse strings.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And we do talk about having conversations with your partner about money because some people are like, well, I never bring it up because it always creates so much stress. Or talking to your children about money, or what are good kind of games or ways to help budget money with your children, because it's so important. You should not be going off to college without knowing, some basic fundamental skills like, how to prep some food, do your laundry, and budget your money.
Yeah.
Those are life skills we all need to know. So, yeah, it's really important, and I think it's really fun. I know when my daughter got her first paycheck, and she's like, "Wait a minute, I was supposed to be making $20 an hour, and that adds up to whatever, and I didn't get that in my paycheck." So that's another discussion about, right, your paycheck, who takes what from it and why, right? Let's talk taxes. So, why are they taking taxes, and what do they do with the money of the taxes? So it's a great fodder for conversation with your family.
Yeah, that's funny because I was talking to my daughter about it, kind of set it, prepping her for all of this because she's working. She got a job, but it's a good ways. It's about 30 minutes away. And I don't like that because she's 16 and she's not driving yet. She's driving, but she doesn't have her license yet. But soon she'll be driving that distance to and from work. And I'm
Yeah.
like, can we get a little closer? And so I'm like, let's find something a little closer when you start driving. But that was right now, that's who answered her. She filled out so many applications, and right now they send you online, and that's who answered her. And she's still, so it's been tough, but at least she found something. But I told her about the taxes, and I'm like, think about the gas that you're going to be driving,
Right.
the distance you're going to be driving, and working 5 minutes away at the mall versus 30 minutes away. I'd rather have that $50 in my pocket versus in my gas tank personally. But, and these are the things that
Yeah.
she's going to see. Saying it's one thing, but once she sees it, it's going to be something else. So, yeah, I'll be revisiting those conversations. So, Dr. Barb, can you share with the women, the ladies, how they can connect with you?
Sure. You can go right to our website, pursestrings.co. Right on the front, you can go right to our directory. It's very easy to navigate. There's several different ways. Also on the front are the tides that most women are looking for, and that one, Where's My Money Going, is there as well. You can download that. And then there's also blogs and ask an expert questions, things like that to navigate around. So, and then join our newsletter. We send a newsletter out every week, which with tips and information that you can use. We also will link to our podcast through our newsletter and all of our guests on our podcast, as well as blogs and ask an expert questions that our experts are answering on your behalf.
Amazing. And we'll have all of Dr. Barb's links inside the show notes as well. You can always come on and check them out and connect with her in that way too. And I was going to share something else or say so, and go make sure you go check out the podcast, Women and Money, the shit we don't talk about. Or is it
Yeah.
Money and Women? Is it Women and Money?
Women and
Women and
money.
Money. Women and Money, the shit we don't, I love it. Shit we don't talk about. So Dr. Barb, but before we wrap up, I have a question for you. Do you have a fun fact, something like behind the scenes about Dr. Barb we wouldn't know from listening to your podcast or going to your website or even seeing you on social media?
Yes, my fun fact is I'm the 11th child of 13 children.
Wow, that is a big family.
Yep, I have six sisters and six brothers, so pretty
Amazing.
even, Steven.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm the
that's
seventh daughter, so yeah, lots of crazy stories in that household. But yeah, big
I can
family.
only imagine. And when you get together, holidays must be a little crazy.
Oh
Some,
yeah, there
yeah.
when we get together, it's a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun. And another thing we didn't mention, she did touch on it, Dr. Bart, but it is a women-led business. You and your
Yeah,
daughter are
mother-daughter
yes,
duo,
mother-daughter
women-led.
duo. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah,
another thing you're getting when you join Purse Strings. And again, it's free to join for you ladies. So
yeah.
make sure you do that. My other question for you is if you could have lunch with anyone dead or alive, past or present, famous, whoever it is, change maker, historian, who would it be and why?
Wow, that's a really good question to have lunch with somebody. I think Melinda Gates.
Ah,
I think it would be interesting to have lunch with her because she's very much a feminist. She very much helps women-led organizations. I think she's calm in a storm. She's been in a lot of them, I'm sure. And I think she's doing the right thing for the world and for women. And I would just love to, yeah, pick her brain a little bit and just learn from her. I think she's super cool.
Oh, I love that answer. Great answer. I haven't
Mhm.
heard that one yet. So that's,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I love it. I love this question because I hear all different people.
Yeah.
And I don't know that anybody's said the same thing twice. I haven't asked this the whole time we've been doing this podcast. I kind of just started doing it because it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Dr. Barber, is there anything else that you'd like to share or say before we wrap up that I didn't get to ask you?
I guess I would just like to say to your audience that, fear is one thing that stops women, and there's a cost to waiting when you're stopping looking at your finances, whether it's afraid to pay down your debt or afraid to start saving or afraid to have that conversation. And yet the cost to waiting is very expensive. So let's purse strings help you overcome that fear by just reaching out. Maybe jumping on our newsletter or just downloading one of our guides, or you can just reach out to me. We can have a conversation, but don't let fear stop you. Let it help you take control because as women, we need to learn that you come first and that we want you to be what we say at Purse Strings is financially fearless.
I love that. Financially fearless. We get to be financially fearless. And remember, there's another $30 trillion coming into the hands of women. And we want to make sure that we're keeping it and growing it, not losing it by making decisions that we weren't prepared to make or making the wrong decisions. And I know I've made some mistakes along the way. So Dr. Barb has this fantastic community that she's built specifically for you so you can make sure that you're making good decisions and you can trust the people that are supporting you and advising you. And her mission is to see women keep their money and grow their money.
Right.
So I love it. So for all of you, thank you for listening to us or watching us. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button so we can share Dr. Barb with more people. If you have friends, family, women you know who you think that Dr. Barb and Purse Strings can help, please share this. We get to support each other in growing each other's wealth. We should be raising each other up as women. That's the goal. We're better together. And we need you to spread the word that Dr. Barb and Purse Strings is here and it's free. So it's not like they have to take money out of their pocket to pay for it. It's free.
Mhm.
This is the community is here. Those resources are there. Go use them. If you're listening to me ramble on, I hope you took action already and you've already gone to purse strings. If you're feeling fear right now as we're having this conversation and you're like, oh my gosh, what if I've made all these mistakes already? That is your sign to even run faster. Run faster to pursestrings.co because they can help you and get you moving forward faster in the positive direction. That's all I have to say on this. I'm going to get off my soapbox because I believe in it so much. And if you haven't gone yet, you better get over there. If you're listening to us on Amazon, Spotify, or Apple, any of your favorite podcast platforms, and you can leave the review, please do because this is how we share with more women our amazing guests like Dr. Barb that are here today, and we can help support you and empower more women to be seen and heard and take and really step into their next successful venture, whatever that looks like. Dr. Barb, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
So
you.
grateful.
Yeah, I
Been
appreciate you.
amazing. And I know her daughter, Maggie. I've met her few times now too. They're an amazing pair, amazing duo. So make sure you connect with them. Thank you for listening to Dr. Barb and I today on the Be She podcast. Go be empowered to be seen and heard. We'll see you on the next episode.